What if everything you believed about one of television's most wholesome family shows was only part of the story? For millions of viewers, Little House on the Prairie represented innocence, family values, simple living, and heartfelt lessons from a bygone era. It was warm. It was emotional. It felt pure. But behind the camera, far away from the quiet fields of Walnut Grove, there was another story unfolding. A story filled with intense friendships, unexpected feuds, personal struggles, real-life heartbreak, shocking habits, hidden tensions, and moments that were anything but simple. Tonight, we uncover the untold reality behind the beloved television classic. Because sometimes the truth behind a perfect picture is far more complicated than the story shown on screen. When Little House on the Prairie first premiered in 1974, no one predicted it would become one of the most iconic family dramas in television history. Inspired by the semi-autobiographical books written by Laura Ingalls Wilder, the show followed the life of the Ingalls family as they settled in rural Minnesota during the late 1800s. The series captured hardship, hope, love, loss, and resilience, all centered around a close-knit family trying to survive frontier life. Audiences connected deeply with its emotional storytelling and moral lessons. It felt authentic. It felt safe. But as the cameras stopped rolling each day, life on set wasn't always as peaceful as the town of Walnut Grove appeared. One of the most important figures in the series was the actor who portrayed Charles Pa Ingalls, the heart of the family. That actor was Michael Landon. On screen, he was strong, compassionate, and guiding. Off-screen, he carried a complex personal history. Born Eugene Maurice Orowitz, he grew up facing significant childhood struggles. His early life included emotional stress and family challenges that shaped him into the resilient personality he later became in Hollywood. By the time he joined the show, he was already an established television star. But Little House on the Prairie became much more than a job for him. He wasn't just the lead actor, he was a director, writer, and producer. His creative influence shaped the direction of the series. He directed many episodes and even helped develop the pilot and finale. His presence on set was powerful, and for young cast members, especially Melissa Gilbert, he became a father-like figure. Melissa Gilbert, who played Laura Ingalls, lost her adoptive father at a young age. When she joined the show as a child, she formed a strong emotional connection with Michael Landon. He supported her, mentored her, and encouraged her. For years, their bond felt like a real family relationship. But relationships can change. When Landon divorced his wife and began a relationship with a crew member, the dynamic shifted. Melissa felt hurt and betrayed. Their closeness fractured. For a time, they stopped speaking. Eventually, life brought them back together. When Landon was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, Melissa reconciled with him before his passing. After his death, she honored him by naming one of her children after him. Their relationship became a story of love, conflict, distance, and forgiveness, one of the most emotional real-life arcs connected to the show. One of the most famous conflicts on the show existed between Laura Ingalls and Nellie Oleson. On screen, they were bitter rivals. Their characters constantly clashed in dramatic fashion. But in real life, the actresses behind those roles, Melissa Gilbert and Alison Arngrim, were extremely close friends. They spent time together off set, laughed together, and even had sleepovers. Their performances were so convincing that audiences believed the rivalry was real. This contrast between fiction and reality showed the talent of the young cast. They could portray intense emotions during filming, then return to being friends once the cameras stopped. It was acting at a remarkably high level. Because Melissa Gilbert was young and inexperienced during early filming years, some of the older cast members enjoyed playfully teasing her. One particularly memorable situation involved on-screen romance scenes. When her character eventually married Almanzo Wilder, played by a significantly older actor, the age difference made filming intimate scenes uncomfortable for her. Her concerns were taken seriously. Adjustments were made to reduce discomfort, and scenes were modified respectfully. However, Some cast members joked about her innocence, using playful on-set antics to tease her, especially when portraying romantic scenes. Though sometimes embarrassing, these moments were largely described as lighthearted fun among friends. While the show promoted wholesome values, the environment behind the scenes reportedly included heavy alcohol consumption among some cast and crew members. Long filming hours, creative pressure, and the demands of weekly production contributed to stress. According to accounts shared later, alcohol was present frequently during production days. Michael Landon himself was known to struggle with drinking during that period of his life. Over time, he reportedly reduced his alcohol intake, but his earlier habits were widely discussed. Despite these challenges, production continued successfully for years. Not every relationship on set was friendly. While some actors became lifelong friends, others reportedly experienced tension. One notable example involved Melissa Gilbert and Melissa Sue Anderson, who portrayed sisters on the show. According to interviews and memoirs, their relationship behind the scenes was strained. Unlike the on-screen closeness, they reportedly did not maintain a warm friendship in real life. The exact reasons remain unclear, but the emotional distance between them lasted long after the series ended. This reminds us that television chemistry does not always reflect reality. Despite tensions, the set was also known for humor. Michael Landon was described as a frequent prankster. He enjoyed practical jokes, creating a lively atmosphere during long filming schedules. Some cast members later shared stories about playful pranks involving props, surprises, and lighthearted mischief. These moments helped balance the seriousness of the show's themes. Behind the emotional scenes, laughter often filled the set. Although the series is remembered for warmth and family values, it also addressed difficult social issues. Throughout its run, episodes explored topics such as poverty, racism, addiction, disability, adoption, sexual assault, illness, prejudice. For its time, this was groundbreaking. Few family programs during the 1970s were willing to confront such sensitive themes directly. The show helped introduce serious, real-world conversations into living rooms across America. That willingness to explore hardship made the series more than entertainment. It became cultural storytelling. The Ingalls family story was inspired by real experiences of Laura Ingalls Wilder. The town of Walnut Grove, Minnesota, where much of the story takes place, is a real location. Wilder's childhood experiences shaped the books that later inspired the television adaptation. However, the show often adjusted timelines and events for dramatic storytelling. This led to occasional continuity errors and historical inaccuracies, including modern objects appearing in 19th century settings and small prop inconsistencies. Fans continue to discuss these details even decades later. After 8 successful seasons, the series underwent changes. The show eventually shifted focus, introducing new storylines and adjusting character dynamics. Ultimately, the original run concluded in 1982. Michael Landon later directed and shaped the final episode, bringing emotional closure to the series. The ending remains memorable and sometimes debated among fans, but the legacy of the show continues to endure. Life after the series looked different for each cast member. Some continued acting, some moved into business or finance, some entered public service or leadership roles. Michael Landon passed away in 1991 at the age of 54 due to pancreatic cancer. His death deeply affected the cast and fans. Melissa Gilbert continued her acting career and even pursued political office years later. Others found quieter paths away from Hollywood. The journeys varied, but the shared experience of the show connected them forever. A legacy that still lives on. Despite behind-the-scenes struggles, friendships, tensions, jokes, and personal hardships, the series remains beloved worldwide. Its emotional storytelling, family values, and historical setting continue to resonate with audiences. New generations still discover the show through reruns and streaming platforms. And while the cameras captured frontier life, the real story behind the production reveals something equally powerful. Real people with real emotions working together to create something meaningful. The imperfections did not destroy the legacy. Instead, they made the story human. When we look back at Little House on the Prairie, we see more than a television program. We see friendship and rivalry struggles and reconciliation laughter and conflict success and tragedy history and storytelling. Behind every wholesome scene was a group of actors navigating real life with all its complexity. And perhaps that is what makes the show even more remarkable. Because even when reality wasn't perfect, they created something timeless. A story about family. A story about resilience. A story that continues to touch hearts decades later. And now you know, the Prairie held secrets, struggles, laughter, and humanity far deeper than what appeared on screen. Sometimes the truth behind the story is just as powerful as the story itself.